Alright, let me introduce to you set class, the concept. First of all, how to take a set class and realize it, and then we'll talk about how you can look at a score and identify the set class of a set that's already there in the music. So first of all, we'll start with this symbol, 037, a set class. When you give a set class like this, I like to think of it as an intervallic recipe. So these numbers, the 0, the 3, and the 7, are intervals away from a given note. And let's pick one and I'll show you what I mean. So if we're dealing with a treble clef, and let's just say we're going to plug in for this 0 a G, then what this means is I can build this set class by going up 037, and I can also build one by going down 0, minus 3, minus 7. So if I go up 037, I will get G, B flat, D, because the intervals here are 3 and 7. In other words, minor third and a perfect fifth, or 7. So those numbers of semitones away from the G give me what we recognize as a minor triad. Now I can also, as I said, start from up above. So if I make this my point of reference, my referential pitch class, I can come down 3 and 7. In other words, minus 3 and minus 7. I can go down by those intervals and I'll get another set, minor third or 3 semitone interval, and then a perfect fifth down, or down 7 semitones, and you get what we recognize as a major triad. In other words, this class takes a whole bunch, just like a classroom of students, say. You've got a number of different people, students, all coming together and forming one unit, one class. Here we have different kinds of sets, different sets, all belonging to one class. And why are they grouped together? Why do these two sets, this G minor triad and the C major triad, why do they belong together? Well, it's because they have the same interval pattern. We have to recognize that we can build that interval pattern up or down for inclusion here, but the real issue is you have those intervals, you have this interval pattern, sometimes up, sometimes downward built. Let me show another one that's kind of interesting. Not only does set class bring together major and minor triads into one class, but it also brings another couple of qualities. Let me not give it away, I'll just start with the symbol and realize it just as we did the other one. Again, this is an intervallic recipe. The 0 says, here's a starting point. I've gone nowhere. Okay, so from here go 2, go 5, and go 8 semitones away. And if we follow that recipe, we'll have a set that belongs to this class. Okay, so let's start with, I'll just use a D as my referential pitch class. I'm going to plug in this D for this 0. That's my starting point. Now I'm going to go up 2. 2 semitones gives me E. Go up 5, which is a perfect fourth. It'll get me a G. And then this is a minor sixth. 8 semitones. And if you listen to that, you'll recognize it. So you hear the diminished bit up above the E, G, B flat, and you add a seventh, a minor seventh to it, and we recognize that as a half diminished seventh. So we would write, if we're using a pop symbol, we would write E, half diminished 7, and it happens to be over a D, but that's the chord. Half diminished quality. Now let's build downward. So I'll use the D again up here and build downward by going down 2, down a perfect fourth or 5, and then 8 would be sharp. There we go. Let's listen to that now. So we got a D, Whole step down gives me the C, A, and F sharp, and you put that together and you get a dominant seventh. The pop symbol is D7. In other words, this set class, 0258, includes two very different kinds of qualities. It includes a half diminished seventh and a dominant seventh. Both those qualities fit here. Now, this is very abstract because we don't know which notes are going to be involved until you set down some sort of referential pitch class and say, I'm building from here. And then you also can build up or down. That means we're taking two types of set and putting them together. So let me run through this one more time and just notice how the types are different. If you've watched anything about set type, you'll know that we use these kind of brackets to highlight the fact that it's set type. And it's very similar because we're doing an intervallic recipe, but the difference is that we never build down, we always build up. Just as when you're dealing with a chord in triadic music in, say, a tonal context, you're used to saying, here's the root, and then here are these notes up above it. You never go downward. You always say, here's the root, here's the third, here's the fifth. We're always figuring in an upward direction. Set type is the same sort of thing because it's trying to capture the quality of a chord or of a set. So for a minor triad, we're going up 0, 3, 7, but for a major triad, the third is now major, so it's bigger. It's 4 semitones up, and we write this. So inside, included within this one set class, are chords or sets of these two types, 037 and 047. And the only reason that we end up with them in the same class is because they have the same intervals. Now we're used to this sort of thing because we know that when you build a major triad, you go a major third and a minor third up. And yes, there's the seventh too, but let's just look at the thirds here for a minute and you'll see the reason perhaps more clearly why they both belong to the same set class. If I just reverse these directions, you'll see that I can get a major third, minor third here, and a major third and minor third here in a minor triad. So yes, they both are built out of thirds, a major and a minor third, and that's what puts them in the same set class. And set class says, look, I can get that pattern here, but I can also get it here by going down. Minor third, major third, minor third, major third. For that reason, we put them into one class. We could do the same thing here with 0258. We can show that the type, set type, that we've got two set types that belong to this one set class. There, when you're in set type world, you always build up. So here it's going to match. The symbol for the set type matches the symbol for the set class. It's going to be different here though. We're going to go up a minor third, or 3, a tritone, which is, I'm setting my 0 first, 0, 3, and there's a 6, and then 2 more makes 8. So those look quite different, the two types do, but they belong in the same set class because they do have those same intervals. It's just a matter of which way we build it. Now I'm going to switch gears and get ready in the next video to show you how, given a score, you can recognize the set classes of the sets in front of you.